G'day everyone, it is Coach Michelle J. Raymond, your trusted guide for building your brand and your business on LinkedIn. And we're going to be talking about an important topic this week. Should you be spending your time on posting content, commenting on other people's content, or sending direct messages to your connections? And the reason I want to have a talk about this is because lots has changed over the last few months on LinkedIn. We had a significant algorithm change that happened in June and is impacting content and the way that we play things out and our processes on LinkedIn right now. And for me, I'm seeing a lot of people really struggling, and often they reach out to me to work with me. They book in for a session and want to do training because I've spoken to people that have spent 1 year being active on LinkedIn. They're posting content, they're doing all kinds of stuff and not getting any closer to their business goals. That, my friends, is not how it should work. Yes, things are slow on LinkedIn, but they shouldn't be that slow. So if you are struggling to generate business results for you or for the business that you work for, then this episode is going to be for you. We're going to be talking about pros and cons of posting, pros and cons of commenting, and also sending direct messages to your connections on LinkedIn. They all have their place, of course, and it's up to you to ultimately decide where you should be investing your time. But I have this feeling that people are doing too much of some things, not enough of others, or skipping some steps in between, and things are just falling apart. And unfortunately, you're busy being busy, not busy growing your business. So let's get that sorted today. First up, let's talk about posting content on LinkedIn. This is where you get to build your visibility and your credibility. And there's lots of upsides to putting out a billboard with pretty much the words that you want to say, sharing your thoughts, creating that thought leadership content. Sometimes it's just getting attention, but ultimately you are leaving things to chance and the algorithm gods. What do I mean by that? Well, when we do a post, the thing is we don't know where it's going to go. We don't know who's going to see it. We don't know how LinkedIn determines what's relevant content to people on the other side. We know that LinkedIn's going to be doing a lot of assessment to see who would most likely enjoy or find value from the post that you've just done. But realistically, it's out of our control. At the end of the day, it does take a lot of effort to create content. I would estimate for most people, a minimum of 1 hour is what it takes per post. Now, some of you out there might be listening and you've been creating content for a long time and you can smash them out in 15 minutes. For others, 1 hour might be too short because by the time you sit down, you get organized, you do your research, you figure out what you want to post about, you fight off those voices in your head that say, don't post, you're going to get trolled, it's all been said before, all of those things, the mind games that we spoke about in last week's episode kick in and time drags on. Posting content, yes, I think it's a must. I would recommend that you do 1 to 2 posts per week if you are leveraging LinkedIn for business growth. I would aim to try and get it up to 3 times a week, even maybe 4 if you can squeeze another one out. But that takes some time to build that up. So if you're just starting out, start at 1, get consistent. Do that for 4 weeks in a row. Then move up to 2 posts per week. Do that for another 4 weeks and then continue to build from there. It is very difficult to go from 0 to 3 or 4 posts a week if you're not in that habit. Making sure that you show up week in, week out over the long term is how this is going to work out. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have breaks. We all have breaks. I've been having a little bit more time away from LinkedIn recently while I focus on some other things that I need to get done. But ultimately, 1 to 2 posts per week, every week, as long as you want to leverage LinkedIn and you know your audience is there, you have to keep showing up. Consistency and persistency for the win. But what if you're one of those people that the thought of posting content is too much? Then we need to talk about commenting. When it comes to leveraging LinkedIn for business growth, commenting on other people's content is a non-negotiable in my eyes. And the reason being is that, number one, this is where you're building your connections. It's where you're building your engagement. It is where you're building your community. It also allows other people to start trusting you because they get some insights into how you're showing up. And we're seeing the importance that LinkedIn is placing on commenting by the new analytics that we got just a few months ago that show us the number of impressions that come from each of the comments that we do. Why are the impressions on comments just as important as those that come from your posts? The comment impressions are typically going to come from people that you're not connected to. So those second and third degree connections. Why? Because you're showing up on somebody else's post and they've built a unique community. Sure, there might be some crossover, but you will get discovered by a lot of new people. And this is a great way to build your community of like-minded people. So commenting on other people's posts, one, it shows that you're supporting them. Yay, big tick, what goes around comes around. Two, when we're having a look at it, it can also warm up these relationships. So you move away from being a stranger into someone that I'm familiar with, so that when we move on to the next stage, which would be direct messaging people, you're not just one of those randoms that shows up unannounced, knocks on the door and says, hey, I'm here to sell you something. People have already got a sense of who you are and what you do because you've been there supporting them. So commenting can be a great way to get discovered. But at the end of the day, what's the downside to just commenting on everyone else's post? Why couldn't you just do that instead of posting your own? You're never sharing your own original thoughts in those posts. Ultimately, I want you to have your own voice. If you are just commenting, it's not a bad thing, but there's an opportunity for you to really express yourself and show yourself as the expert that I know that you really are. Let's talk about sending direct messages on LinkedIn, because direct messages, it's kind of where the business gets done. Direct messaging on LinkedIn really should be that place where you take those relationships that you've built with people that are engaging on the content you create, or that you're commenting on their content, and taking it to that next level. So we're going from public activity into a private space to have that one-on-one conversation, which is amazing. And I love, and it's really important. And it's often the place where deals get done, but we have a small problem. The problem is all of those people right now that are giving social selling a really bad name by using automated tools that try and automate relationships, or people that are connecting and then pitching straight away. You know the ones, hey, we're connected, buy my stuff. And you're like, you know what? At what point did I look like I was somebody that needed to buy farming equipment in the US? I don't know what's going on there. I need that about as much as I need lead gen services on LinkedIn. I don't know why people keep offering me that. That is a sure sign that they don't know what they're doing when they're offering me my own services. But that's what's going on right now. And that's what makes the art of sending direct messages really tricky right now. If I cast my mind back to 10 years ago when I first started on LinkedIn, you could literally send a DM to anyone in the world, didn't matter what their position was, and they would respond. These days, I think their guard is up, but that's not a reason not to send direct messages to people. Direct messaging, you take it into your own hands, but you have to go in with a clear strategy and take things slowly. Take away the pressure that you were out to get something from those people that you're direct messaging, and just be interested in them and start to build up rapport and conversations. And I've done an episode on the podcast, I don't know, 3 or 4 episodes ago where I talk about the power of DMs specifically. So if you missed it, go back, check that one out. It would be really helpful. I think too many people avoid them because they don't want to come across as salesy. And I think if you're just relying on posting content in 2025, I actually don't think that that works anymore. I think those days of posting and getting inbound leads are long gone, and probably have been for about, 12 months. We have to take things into our own hands. If you're struggling to figure out how can I send messages to people, or how do I even discover people I could send messages to, then that's what my growth masterclass is all about. I can always send you details. just book a call with me in the show notes. You'll see the link and let's have a chat about how I can actually get you over this hurdle. As we come around to the end of the episode, I've discussed with you the pros and cons of posting, of commenting on other people's content, and also sending direct DMs. But how do you find the right mix of each? When it comes to using LinkedIn to grow your business, we're all different and we all have different skills and experience and strengths. I know that there are people out there that never post but have a super strong direct messaging game. I know that there are people out there that don't post but do a lot of commenting, and that's part of their strategy. But if you are just starting out or trying to fine tune the amount of effort that you're putting into LinkedIn, let's have a think about some numbers. If you're starting out, I think 1 post per week is more than enough, but we're aiming for 3 to 4 posts per week. If we can get to that, that's great. Something to build up to. Most people, I don't think, are doing enough work when it comes to trying to generate opportunities on LinkedIn. It's hard work right now. We have to do the reps. We have to do the grind. So let's talk about commenting. I want 10 good comments on other people's posts in your target audience as much as possible on a daily basis. This is going to really supercharge your results and get you discovered by more people, which is important if you're starting out and looking to grow your community. Right now, if you're invisible and not taking any of these actions, then people don't know you exist. And if they don't know you exist, they can't buy from you, which is why you're not getting the leads. And that is why you don't get sales. And that is why at some point you'll realize that this isn't actually a business if you don't get sales. Let's talk about sending DMs next. Now, this one's a little tricky because depending on the quality or the number of responses, this one would probably be around 10 a day as well if you're going hardcore. Start with 5, see if you can get that done. A great place to start is with those people that you've recently connected with. So send them a message, ask them a question about themselves, right? Discover more about the people that you're actually connected to. So let's talk numbers again. So posting once a week if you're just starting, aim to get 3 or 4 times per week if you're built up over time. Then we're going to look at doing about 10 comments per day, thoughtful comments, supportive comments, comments that really stand out to other people. And third, direct messages, 5 to 10. And that is in line with those kind of numbers of people that you should be connecting to on a pretty frequent basis. So think about those numbers. Adapt it to your circumstances. Like this should come with one of those disclaimers that shows up on like insurance ads. Just check if this is right for you. That kind of disclaimer is what this episode needs to have, but it's a place to start because honestly, I do think that people are not doing enough, and LinkedIn right now is rewarding those people who go the extra mile, and having the right mix of these 3 things is how you'll grow your business. So I'd love to hear from you. Like, what ratios are you using to grow your business on LinkedIn? Are you doing lots more posting? Are you doing more commenting? Are you sending more DMs? I'd love to know what's working for you. So drop it in the comments or drop me a DM over on LinkedIn, and I'd love to hear from you. Until next week, cheers.